All right, welcome. My name is Sean Graves. I am the principal here at Elbert Junior Senior High School. If you are watching this video, you are about ready to become a freshman. So I appreciate you taking the time. 2 years ago, we used to do a live freshman orientation night. And then COVID came around and we tried it for a couple of years via video. Watch this video at your own time, at your own leisure. Don't have to make the set time for the live meeting. And so we got a lot of positive feedback. So in recent years, even though we are no longer in any sort of COVID restrictions, we've to talk a little bit about high school and how high school is different from middle school and all those sorts of things. So the one downside, of course, is that you can't ask questions, at least not live, but see, you can call me here at school, 303-648-3030. My extension is 120. sgraves@elbertschool.org is my email. Call the main desk thing tonight, or if I leave you with a question, please feel free to ask, and we will go from there. I think when you go from middle school to high school in a larger school district, it feels like a bigger deal. 5 miles away, you're in an entirely new space with new teachers. And here at Elbert, going from 8th to 9th grade, you might move 10 lockers down and have much of the same teachers, or many of the same teachers, and you still wear purple and gold, all that. But there is a significant difference in the eyes of the state. We have 3 different schools in this building, high school. And I want to make sure we talk about that just for a second, because there are some significant things that change when you go to high school. And I want you to be aware of that. And even though you're in the same space with some of the same teachers and same of a change, overt a change as it would be at a bigger district, it is still a change. Okay, so let's talk about that. I have, hopefully that popped onto the screen for you all. All right. Let's actually do it as a slideshow. There we go. Okay, so this will be my 11th year as principal. Took the job, my predecessor, Mr. Elbert. His parting advice to me was to find the Elbert way. To find the Elbert way. I had a lot of questions on the job, and he told me to find the Elbert way. And over the last decade, I think what we've come up with is not so much the Elbert way, but the Elbert ways. So as we enter high school, as you enter high school, any pathways as possible, opportunities as possible for you to explore as you head towards graduation day. All right, and we'll talk a little bit about these ways in more detail as we go. The first way is the traditional way. One of the great things about Elbert High School, Elbert School in general, is that it has that small town feel, that old, and the next 4 years for you are hopefully Friday night football games and homecoming dances and signing yearbooks and a great 4-year high school experience that is, of course, rooted in some good reasons, or one of the aspects of the school that I'm proud of. My son graduated from the school, and he chose this school, and we chose this school for him in large part because of that traditional old school high school experience. Here in a minute. All right. However, in addition to that, if you want to get a jump start on college, we also have what we call the concurrent enrollment way, that in both high school and college at the same time. That's what concurrent means. And you may be able to graduate high school with some college credits in your pocket of Elbert School District, or at least most of it at the expense of Elbert School District. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. We had, as an example, last year, class of 2024, we had a half a dozen students with college credits in their pocket, probably over 100 credits, walked off that graduation stage last May. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, to increase our vocational options for students. And we'll talk about that. If you are more hands-on, you don't feel you're college bound, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You like to work with your hands, you want to the culinary field or auto mechanics or whatever it is, we have a fair amount of options for our students there. A lot of these options start your sophomore year more so than your freshman year. I will tell you that. Your is to say that there's going to be a lot of required classes your freshman year. But the idea behind that is that by the time you're a sophomore, your schedule starts to free up and you have more opportunities to explore the various pathways. By the way, that is not implicit in the slide. And the fourth way is that you can dabble. You can try a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't know exactly what your career path will be. Hopefully you're starting to think about it at the very least, but you may not know. So another thing that I encourage students to do, since we have these opportunity class, Try a culinary class. Try a college prep U.S. history class. And as you go through the 4 years, maybe your experience at Elbert can help you find your way once you grab use of the opportunities that we provide. All right. Regardless of what pathway you choose, you are going to need to meet graduation requirements. That's a significant difference. We, of course, wanted you to pass classes. We, of course, wanted you to do as well as possible and have a high GPA and all those things. But being promoted to the next grade was, something that, all right. High school is different. We're accumulating credits. We're stacking up credits like coins. And you have to get certain types of coins. You have to get some English credits or coins, and then you have to get a total number of coins or credits to graduate. Okay, and that's just the game once we get to high school. So let's talk a little bit about graduation requirements at Elbert, or 2 different diplomas that we award at the end of your 4 years. So let's look at those. We'll start with what I'm going to call the standard diploma. This is what you can look at some of the specifics there. You can read as I kind of go over it quickly. You need 25 credits total to graduate. If you do some quick math, and you know that you can earn 7 credits a year, and that high school is 4 years long, bigger than 25. So you have some opportunities to make some mistakes and still graduate. You may also have an opportunity as a senior to come on the road. Okay. Among those 25 credits, you need 4 credits. All 4 years you are taking English, 3 credits of math, 3 credits of science, 3 credits of social, some specific classes we want you to take in our sequence. As a freshman, you will take health and PE, health 1 semester, PE 2nd semester. We offer live and in person here at Elbert is Spanish. Then you need to rack up 9 elective credits at a minimum, okay? Now, may you take more than 3 science classes? Yes. May you take more than 3 math graduation requirements, okay? At the bottom of that list is something that you're not going to worry about too much till you're a junior, but let's plant the seed now. This is something the state of Colorado put in place. A student in the state of Colorado has to pass an assessment, a test, with a minimum score to graduate. That means there is a menu, a list of tests, and a few others. And sometime before you graduate, you have to take one of those tests and pass with a minimum mark as set by the state of Colorado. Okay, your junior year here at Elbert, we will offer the SAT, unless the state legislature switches back to the ACT. It's always a debate back and forth, but we should offer the SAT one time here at Elbert. Okay. Again, and as you get closer to that date, we'll talk about minimum cut scores and all those sorts of things. I want you to be aware of it now. I don't want you to be freaked out by get through via testing. And then if for some reason you can't obtain a minimum score in one of those areas, we do have some other options on how we can get you your diploma, you can readiness, and we've had students do that as well. Since they've implemented this rule, all of our Elbert kids who wanted to graduate, who tried to graduate, have graduated. So don't stress about it. They'll have a second diploma or a standard diploma with an endorsement. And we call that a college prep diploma. If you are headed towards college, you think that's what you to create a greater transcript. Okay, transcript, that's something that's new for high school too. Okay, transcript is simply a piece of paper that lists passing, failing, B's, C's, B's, A's, whatever, in high school. So starting day 1 of high school, your 9th grade year, you are building a transcript. You are building a list. I happen to could see it anyways, but it looks something like this. This is actually one from another school. This is a student who is transferring to Elbert. Ours look a little different, but this is a listing of a student's, all the classes they've taken, the group for each class, okay? That transcript is something you might send to a college as part of the admissions process, okay? Military recruiters like the script. So the whole purpose behind the college prep diploma is to help you build a stronger transcript with harder classes on it. So it looks like you are ready for college. And on graduation day, those students who have earned a college prep diploma get to walk with an extra rope, a decoration. There's an extra foil sticker that is put on the diploma. So there's a little bit of pomp and circumstance. Prep diploma would be to build that stronger transcript, okay? All right. As you contrast these two from side to side, the changes are in red to get your college prep diploma. You do need that 4th year of math. That is a requirement. If you go down here about 2/3 of the way down the list, you'll see there's something called academic electives. That just, you need to take some harder electives, Okay, there is nothing wrong with culinary class or shop class or PE or weight training, but we do not designate those as academic electives. College prep US history, or one of our ag classes that are designated as academic electives. Okay, if you remember fresh off this, the sheet that you use to make your course requests designated which classes were academic electives and which classes were just standard electives, and we'll continue to help you make sure that you're on pace if you want the college prep diploma. Okay. And if you look at the very bottom of the college prep diploma list, you'll see that you also need a minimum GPA of 3.0. Let's take a look at what your 4 years might look like. Okay. All right. This is not everybody. This is just kind of a general template, so don't hold me too much to this. Each one of these columns represents a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And this is what, in general, your schedule might look like over the course of 4 years if you are aspiring to get a standard diploma. Okay, I told you that your freshman year is going to be a prescriptive year, meaning I'm going to pick your classes to a large degree. And then you can see, if you look at the word elective in red at the various years, as your options open up for you, your flexibility, your freedoms open up for you. Okay, but your first year, freshman year, almost always freshmen only have one elective. Okay, only have one elective. I have your course request. Ms. Yoder's been putting you in your classes per your course request the best that she can, et cetera, and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look at what 4 years of a college prep diploma might look like. Okay, you can see now there's some orange classes in the mix in exactly this order. We're speaking in generalities here. You might notice it's not that much more. Okay, I'll toggle back and forth just a little bit. Woo, not that fast. Regular diploma, standard diploma, college prep diploma. One more time. Regular, college prep. Okay, remember that. You see in the senior year, you've got a 4th year of math. These recommendations of pre-calc are higher. I would think if you're college bound, we'd like to get you to pre-calc. Algebra 2 for sure if you're headed towards college. Okay, all right, that's what your 4 years might look like, either like this or perhaps like this, that red brick schoolhouse we talked about. All right, let's talk about concurrent enrollment really quickly and just an overview, okay? The state of Colorado a number of years ago decided that all high schools must students, that is to say, the opportunity to earn college credits. They gave the individual schools and school districts some flexibility and some wiggle room in how they did that, but we are compliant, implemented the state laws. We were already doing 90% of what they were asking. Okay. Our primary partner in our concurrent enrollment situation is Arapahoe Community College. Their kind of geographic region is associated with Arapahoe Community College. Their main campus is in Littleton off Santa Fe, kind of the Chatfield area. And so that most of the credits our concurrent students earn is associated with the state of Colorado community college system and the state of Colorado college system. So most of the classes that are guaranteed to transfer to all of the state funded schools, CU and all its satellites, CSU and all its satellites, and all of the schools that at least used to have state, Western State, Adams State, Metro State, etc. Okay. Now, these credits may transfer out of state to Kansas State, LSU, Harvard, wherever. They may transfer to private schools. Kind of a college by college situation once you go outside of state. But most of the Arapahoe Community College stuff will transfer in state very, very well to state-run stuff. Places like they're a little nitpicky in what they offer, okay, or what they will accept, I should say. All right. If you take concurrent enrollment classes, we'll go into more detail, but basically you sign a contract with the pay tuition and fees of the course. The family of the student is responsible for anything beyond that, books, etc. We had a student a few years back who did a bunch of welding classes. He had to pay these covered by Elbert School District, provided you pass the class, okay? Students at Elbert earn elective credits for taking concurrent classes. Graduation requirements, you can't substitute a college class for all those graduation requirements we just discussed. So you can't say, I'm not taking 10th grade social, don't allow you to do that. You have to take your core requirements via Elbert teachers and all that. Every concurrent class that is taking is an elective. They don't count for graduation exception, and that exception is if you're planning to graduate early. If you're planning to graduate early, come talk to me about into your sophomore year. We don't need to go into all that today. There is the possibility you could graduate one semester early, December of your senior year. Grown the last 10 years. I'm not going to go over each and all these, but you can see that 10 years ago, we started very small. You can see that last year was in many ways, our best year. We had the most students and the most credits, 138 credits that Elbert School did their fees. And then if you look at the very bottom of the slide, you can see over a 9-year period, 818 credits, and you can see the grades, okay? You can see the grades that our students have received over that time. School tutor, so if you're taking a social studies class, I'll hook you up with one of the social studies teachers. We've even had kids take music theory, and I've hooked them up with Mr. Goodger, scheduled to do your college class. It's never a matter of I just do my college class at home and then I have 7 elective Elbert classes. I don't do that. If you have a college class, you have an hour built into your schedule each day and a place. And then about every week, 10 days, 2 weeks, I come around and stare over your shoulders. You show me your current grades. And okay, we kind of treat you like college students in training. So again, lots of success. The students, the athlete decisions, like not turning in final papers. Every student who's made a good faith effort to pass college class and not do something really, really silly or not very smart have passed classes. That you have over the next 4 years. Okay, let's start with some of our in-house stuff. We'll start with our VOAG program and our FFA program. We have a 4-year plan. Usually freshmen start with Intro to Ag, a place in the schedule where freshmen are able to take it. It's not up against freshman English or freshman social studies or something like that. That is the case this year. So you're one elective if you want to get into FFA and Ag. We have a 4-year sequence of electives. We're actually changing FFA and Ag teachers and sponsors this year. So Ms. Hager has she has some different areas that are her strengths. So animal science and horticulture may change by the time. That's currently what we list as our year 2 and 3 courses. Okay, and then we also have an MOU with another college, Northeastern Junior College, sometimes seniors take classes with NJC. Arapahoe Community College does not offer any college ag classes, so we have an additional MOU with NJC. All right, culinary arts, those have just recently changed too. Colorado and technical education oversees what we do, and culinary one is now culinary essentials, but it's essentially the same class. If you're interested in becoming a chef, becoming a cook, your plan of study that you could take, including some concurrent classes at ACC or some independent study, maybe your senior year. You could manage the concession stand for a year. Or we'll create it if we have Mr. Tieman's Woods program. It's basically a 2-year program, although you can take Woods all 4 years if it's really your thing. Okay, we have high school wood shop 1, 2, and then on your transcript, you might have 3 or 4 in reality, but those are the 2 we list. We have an IT program that Mr. Goodger oversees. That is largely an online program. You need to be self-motivated and self-paced. Mr. Goodger oversees that program more than he teaches that program. It's kind of just an online, you get on and you go through the modules, you earn certifications, we get you into the IT field. Most of the courses have a cybersecurity bent. That is kind of the leaning of most of the courses that we have access to. Calhan High School has a kind of a larger IT pro to Calhan. As a matter of fact, this morning I'm setting up one of our current seniors to do so. So if that's really your thing, we can help you there. Speaking of Calhan, and our corner has some options that might be available to you. Peyton Auto has a 2-year program where you could get, they prepare you for the industry tests. It's an acronym, and I'm forgetting the acronym. Walk into Jiffy Lube or someplace and get a basic job as a mechanic. It is a 2-year program. At this moment in time, Peyton does not have an auto teacher, but they're working hard on that. And by the time I take these classes, I'm sure Peyton will have it sorted out by then. Most of these off-campus programs are kind of junior, senior year things. Largely because Elbert does not provide the transportation. You need to be old enough to drive your session. We cover the cost. You just have to get yourself there and back. We've had any number of kids go through the Peyton Auto program. It's been one of the more popular ones of late. Oops. We also have, last 2 years have been our school. They have a CNA program. So if you're interested in nursing, that's actually just a 1 semester, pretty rigorous, intense course, probably done your senior year, where you walk out of there with a nursing certificate and you can walk at age 19 and try to seek employment. So that's a few years away, but it's good that you know that it's there. We also, this past year, we sent a student down to cosmetology school in Colorado Springs, age 18, 19. work on nails, and that's the vocation that she is choosing to pursue. The International Salon and Spa Academy has two main programs. One is a 2-year hair program. I don't know a lot about hair and what have you, but as you get a little bit older, if that's your jam, that's the thing you are interested in, come talk to me as like a sophomore, and we'll get you set up. Okay. When you are a senior, you can do work study, some high school credit up to 2 hours a day. Okay. We can talk about that as that gets closer. And then the last thing I'll tell you is if there's a vocational option that you're interested in, you start to be maybe that's how we made our relationship with the cosmetology school. I had a student ask me, she said, I want to study hair and nails. I want to be a cosmetologist. So I shot an email to the principals in the region. What do you do for kids who want to study? Boom. And I will do the same for you. If there's something not on this list that you're interested in, we'll pursue it. We'll see what we can find, what we can set up. So, all right. There's the Elbert ways. We can kind of pathways within the pathways. There's lots of opportunities for a small 1A sized school. I'm very proud of what we offer to our students. It's up to you to take advantage of it, dabbling in a little bit of everything and finding out what your interests and passions are. All right. All right. I got one more slide. We're just going to talk really quickly about one other major difference between middle school and high school. And that is that Schwitz and those kinds of things now have a governing body. And I want you to be aware of that. Okay. CHASA, the Colorado High School Activities Association, oversees high school sports. There's really no governing body for middle school. We have a league, significant mandated rules within our league for middle school. CHASA has a list. We have bylaws. Here's my new book I just got the other day. It's that big, it's that thick, all rules about high school athletes. Job to know the whole book-ish, all right? Or at least be able to look up stuff in the book, all right? And I just want you to understand, the biggest thing I think I want a freshman to understand is that once you start an extracurricular program, this one volleyball practice, whatever it is, that becomes your first school, okay? That's your school A, okay? And then if you transfer, you may or may not have eligibility depending on the detail transferring, okay? So it's not just a free-for-all. In middle school, you can go from Peyton Middle School to Kiowa Middle School to Elbert Middle School, and you're eligible to participate in sports at the 18 level. CHASA always allows you to participate at the sub-varsity level, at the JV level, but varsity eligibility, if you transfer from school to school, may depend on some issues, okay? So if you start here at Elbert and you think, walk you through the process, whether or not you may have, you may lose your varsity eligibility for a period of time. Usually it's a year, okay? If you transfer as a sophomore, you may have to sit as a sophomore, and then you can play as a junior, that sort of thing, okay? Come out transferring sometimes, and they don't know that there's maybe some trade-offs or some consequences, okay? In addition to CHASA, we have the Black Forest League. There's a handful of rules that student athletes, and then Elbert School District, also we impose stricter standards. For example, our eligibility is more strict than the CHASA minimums, okay? Middle school will, the preliminary list, then the secondary list, and then you're ineligible for a week. That's something that will remain the same, okay? No Fs and no more than 2 Ds. And if so, you're ineligible for a week. Doesn't matter if you get it up later in the week, you're ineligible for a week, okay? Sport, sorry, I didn't update that. Last year we upped that to 50. So it's $50 per sport. Play 2 sports, get the third sport free though. So we do like to encourage our multi-sport participants. So one way we do that is giving you the third sport free. Okay. High school, we've got football, volleyball, boys and girls basketball. We've got boys and girls track. Although right now we're struggling to find girls who want to cheer. So if you're a freshman who wants to cheer, come see me the first day of school or shoot me an email. And if we can get 3 or 4 girls out, we will have cheerleading as well. All right. I think that information you need for high school. Okay. You can obviously pause this video at any point, get all this info. You can walk into my office at any time, or Mrs. Yoder at any time, and take a look at graduation requirements. The graduation requirements are posted, and we will help you through the process. Absolutely. Your freshman year is going to be pretty prescriptive. You're probably going to have 6 out of 7 classes dictated to you. Okay. First semester is even a little harder because so you get a little break there. Not that PE isn't hard, but there's not homework in PE and that sort of thing. PE is more just to show up and do it type of thing. That's the way Mr. McKnight. Minimum of 6 kind of academic classes, maybe 7 depending on your elective choice. It'll ease up a hair second semester, and then once you become a sophomore, if you go back to those slides, okay, I'm a senior, and you will thank me. Okay, you can grumble under your breath at me all freshman year. But then when you are a junior and senior and you're able to do these fun things, these vocational schools, or take a whole bunch of college classes and get ahead of the game. I want to end how I started. I want to just thank you guys for your time. This was just meant to be an overview. Certainly not every single thing about high school. We still got to cover dances, and there's a million little things that if I tried to, then it is, and it's already plenty long. So there's some of your basic info. We will help you through all the rest of it. It's an exciting time. I'm sure kids, you're surprised that you're here already, and I know parents are surprised that freshmen in high school. So reach out to me if you have any questions. My door is always open. And welcome to high school.